Okay, so now you've got auctions. You know where to find them. That's the easy part. Next step is looking at some properties. So we're on the Bond Wolfe website. I'm going to the current auction, which is 24th of October. We are on the 1st of October. So they've got a good selection already. Let's see how many lots they have. Oh. They probably have most of them by now. I'm not sure if they'll add any more. It's possible that they'll add more, but 176 lots so far. So what I did was go from top to bottom, really. And in my case, I have a type of property in mind, a residential property. So I'm looking just at those. I don't really mind whether it's semi-detached or a terraced one, as long as the price is right. My plan is to buy a property that needs refurbishment and then mortgage it after refurbishment, most likely, and rent it out. So an investment property. Your goal might be different, so just decide what your plan is, whether you want to extend the property, whether you want to buy and live in the property. So then you might analyze these a bit differently, but in my case I'm looking at them through this lens, right? So let's take this one for example. But essentially, I would be looking at all of them and apply the analysis to all of them, type them into my notebook. Some of them I would skip. For example, something that looks like it's not a standard build, or something that's out of my range, like Coventry, for example. I'm not interested in buying in Coventry, so I will skip the ones that I'm not interested in, or the ones that look like they are pretty much falling apart. This is a good example of a non-standard build, looks like. So I wouldn't really look at that, simply because I might have issues mortgaging it later on, so it doesn't fit my goal, my end goal. But the more of these that you do and that you analyze, the better. So don't fall in love with just one and obsess over one, because you most likely are going to overbid, or you're not going to win it at the right price. So let's dive in. I will take this one as an example. And first of all, we want to see the condition of the house, what sort of budget we're looking at for refurbishment. That's a little bit of a tricky one, because if you haven't done property before, if you don't have any experience with building work, then how do you actually assess it from that perspective? If you're a builder, then probably you already know what you're doing, so you know better than me anyways. I just want to say I'm not a builder. What I'm about to say is just through my own research and due diligence. Right, before mumbling any further, I've already done a lot of quotes for pretty much any work that you can think of inside the house. So the way I've done that is on Google. I started with the roof, for example, roofing quote. You just want to do this extensive work in the beginning, get all the quotes in your own area that you want to buy for pretty much any work that needs doing to a house. And you are thinking, well, that sounds like a lot of work. Well, it is a lot of work. I've done this for the past couple of weeks, and I've compiled this huge list. So you can just copy what I've done, but bear in mind this is in Birmingham, Midlands area. So, and they're not exact quotes either, because as you know, everyone's price is different. So yeah, I just put like a range of prices based on the quotes that I've got. So yeah, this is the list. We'll go through the list in detail, but for now, that's how you get the quotes, right? You just Google for whatever kind of work you need, plastering quotes, and then again you take the top one. Well, I would say the top ones, try a few of these. My builder, actual plasterers, and yeah, just use a secondary email, ideally a secondary number as well, because you'll get a lot of calls and spamming messages. So yeah, that's basically what I've done to compile that list of quotes. Also, in the quotes sections, so what I've done is two types of budgets, let's say. One is hands-off, meaning you just look for a tradesman or a woman to do the work, and they pretty much do everything, maybe even supply the materials themselves, or you buy the materials. And then one on the right hand side is just the material cost, possibly tools as well, and you do the work. So obviously some of these you might not be able to, or you might not be willing to, so I've just compiled it anyway because I know what I'm willing to do. So you can decide for yourself. But yeah, let's start off with the virtual tour. So first, before checking the area, before checking anything, what I do is I look at the property. So if it's falling apart, then there's no point analyzing the end value for me anyways. Just look at the area. Looks like it's a good, nice area. So we look at the roof, at the outside structure of the house, windows. They look in good condition. Gutters look fine. Just a bit of moss on the roof, but that's not an issue. This is, as far as we can see, it looks fine. So let's go inside. Inside, let's start from one place. Start with the kitchen. And the kitchen there's no kitchen, so obviously this whole thing needs doing. In terms of the boiler, we're not sure, but in this instance I would just assume it needs replacing, so I would budget in for that. And yeah, there is the kitchen. Just have a general look around the house. This is like a second reception. or dining room. There's a bathroom. General looks okay, just the floor needs fixing. Well, the whole floor needs fixing, yeah. What I would do to this kitchen is open it up, so where you can see there's a wall here. Just open up that wall, make a nice kitchen diner here. I think that would look better than this tiny kitchen here. Nowadays people want more space, so yeah, this is not a kitchen. It needs fixing, as in make it into a bigger space. So yeah, the wall, everything looks okay, just the walls, skimming, floors, just walk through. And by the way, this does not replace the need for an in-depth visit, but it's perfect for the initial analysis, so that's what I do. Just quickly look at the property and place a budget based on what I can see. So right, let's stop messing around. Let's just start. Right, roof. Do we need what property is this? Not this one. Yeah, so clean gutters possibly, but no roof needed, most likely. It doesn't look like there's anything to do with the roof, so we'll just keep that at 0 for now. Kitchen. Right, so we've seen the kitchen. We have the option of a small, medium, large. I would say a small kitchen, a medium kitchen would be quite fine, since we're gonna open up the space. Well, this is what I'm thinking anyway. You do as you please, but I will say around 8. So this is with the quotes. Let's just put around £8,000 for a medium kitchen. So the range is quite large, because obviously some companies will fit it for less, some will fit it for more. Depends on whatever quality and their marketing, I guess. So let's just put an 8,000 for hands-off kitchen, medium, right? If you do it yourself, you would be looking at about, I would say, 1,000 to 1,500 plus appliances. Now, all the appliances, you can buy them used, but in good condition. So maybe they have a scratch or something, and you will get them at a discount. Remember, if you're buying it for an investment, then you don't want to be doing it to the luxury standard, unless you buy them in an area that demands luxury. But in this case, 1,500 plus 600, I would say, for the appliances and a few other bits and bobs. I would say 2,100, 2,500 max. That's how much I would give as a budget. Now, you might agree or disagree or think this is crazy, you can't get a kitchen for that price, like the cabinets, or maybe you think you're spending way too much on the kitchen. But let's just agree to disagree. This is just a budget at the moment, so we might be able to spend less on this, but ideally not more. So, and I believe you can get for way less than that even. You can get that kind of kitchen if you're, if you know where to look. And remember, this is the hands-on, so you do it yourself. So fitting cost nothing, pretty much, just your time. Right, so the bathroom is next. We are upstairs in the bathroom, so let's make this bigger. Come on. It's a bit laggy sometimes. Right, the bathroom is, as you imagined, needs changing. It's a small bathroom. Oh, but don't forget, we've got 2 bathrooms in this house. So we've got a small one here, which needs basically the whole thing done to it. Replace it. Oh, there's a toilet in there as well. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so yeah, you can keep it separate. I wouldn't mind keeping it separate, to be fair, or you can open it up, based on your strategy. I wouldn't bother knocking that wall down. It's just an extra cost, and the way it is now, it does its job. So it's just about replacing the units in there. And in here, the downstairs bathroom looks fine, to be fair. So of course the sink, maybe you want to put a cabinet, or just put a prettier sink or whatever. Toilet looks fine, just change the seat, give it a clean shower. Again, to be fair, it doesn't look bad. You might just want to put like a shower screen here instead of the curtains, and of course new floor, tiles, maybe give them a paint. Some people make the mistake of trying to rip everything apart, starting from scratch, but then you're just adding more work to your list, and there's really no point doing that if you're gonna rent it out. You just want to get a good looking house, and if you can achieve that with by working with what you've got, then that's great. So yeah, anyways, in this bathroom, I wouldn't do too much to it, just give it a nice new skin. Right, so bathroom budget, 3-piece supply and fit, the upstairs bathroom, let's say at around £3,000, plus the downstairs bathroom. Let's say you want to just change the sink, which is about 100 to 200, so 3,000. Maybe the shower screen, you'd probably be looking at in total 3,500 for the bathrooms, for someone to do them. However, if you did it yourself, upstairs, by the way, these prices are with the materials included, so the tubs, shower, sink, whatever, and someone comes in and brings them along, or you order them and they fit them, but this is the total price for someone to do that work for you. Whereas in here, you're just buying the materials and doing it yourself, which, trust me, is not that hard if you just watch some videos, and start messing around a little bit. Just make sure you switch off the water, and yeah, I've done it myself from zero knowledge, so I think it's possible. But anyways, your call. So upstairs we've got a tub and a sink and a toilet. So 250 plus 150 plus around 100, 400, 500, plus another 150 downstairs sink, and like 100 for a shower screen. What was I at? 5, 6, 50, 750. I think 750 is more than enough, I believe. With pipes, I haven't added the pipes, but honestly you won't need many more pipes because you already got the pipes. So let's just say 800 with some extra fittings and stuff. I believe that's enough, but again, you do your own research. Prices, for these type of prices are even easier to figure out because you just do some window shopping. You write tub in Google and you'll see the prices for a tub. You write a toilet in Google, look, toilet, right? Toilet quotes. Shopping, look, 100, 129. Of course you can go with like a 400 pounds toilet, but it's up to you really. But yeah, you can get this one looks perfectly fine, right? 90 pounds. So as you can see, I've already placed a bit of a buffer in there. So anyways, heating, right? Let's go to heating. Where were we? Downstairs. We had a look at the by the way, as I walked around, I looked at the radiators and they all look fine. They look like they've been changed recently, so you most likely don't need to change any of the radiators. Maybe just touch them up with a little paint if needed. But boiler, I'm not a gas engineer, so I have no idea how to assess these boilers, but to keep it on the safe side, whenever you're not sure about something, just add it on the list really and put up a budget for it, because you're better safe than sorry. Even if you don't get the house because you're overly cautious, don't worry about that. There are 100 others where you can actually have a chance. So that's why I mentioned don't get overly attached to one house. So yeah, combi boiler replacement, the quotes I got were in the range of 1,500 to 3,000 pounds with the boiler included. So let's just call it a 2,000 pounds if you were to do it to order to get someone in. If you want to do it yourself, be my guest. I would say for around 800 you can get a good combi boiler. Now replumbing, I don't believe that's needed for this house. Radiator replacements, again, I didn't see any radiators that need changing, but we can have a look upstairs and see. The electrics, full house rewire, don't need that, I don't believe that. Consumer unit replacement. Now this is a bit trickier because we can't really see the electrics, so you would want to go in and switch on the lights, see if the lights are working, maybe test the plugs or something. Alarms though, there were a few alarms in there, I believe. I hope this all makes sense. It looks like a lot of work for each property, but it only takes long because I'm explaining everything. But once you do this a few times, you'll just be walking around here, and in your mind becomes a calculator and just keep adding things up. So there are smoke alarms. Again, I'm not too sure if they're hardwired or on a battery, but if you want to kind of cheap out, you can always just put the battery powered next to it. But let's just say you want to replace the hardwire, or this hardwire 2 new smoke alarms, 150 to 250. So they're already there, so you don't need to bring any more wiring. I would say around 150 for someone to replace them. And if you want to do it yourself, you just need the smoke alarms, which are about 30 pounds to 50 pounds. Let's just say 50 at most. Again, you can get more expensive ones, but they do the same thing, so there's no need to go crazy on them. This is interior plan, so basically if you want to knock down any walls, structural walls will be more expensive, obviously. You'll need building control, you'll need an RSJ, so a beam to support the weight from above, skips most likely. And in our case, of course, this is a bit of an added cost. You don't have to do this, you can just keep that kitchen as it is, but that's not much of a kitchen, is it? So another thing you could do is bring piping in here and build the kitchen around here, but then that's just more work anyway. So knock down the wall and figure out a way to make this kitchen bigger. So for example, you can build the sink here, because you've got the plumbing, and the washing machine as well. So basically anything that needs access to this plumbing can stay here, and then on this side you can continue okay. So we got the lower part. If you close this off and you open up this wall here, then you can just have kitchen, sink, stuff like that in here. Some kind of an island here maybe, and some more cabinets here. Yeah, this needs a bit more thinking, but it's definitely doable, and it's better than keeping it the way it is now. So anyways, knock down one wall, right? What's the price of knocking down a wall? Knock down one structural wall, 1,500 to 3,000. Again, with your bargaining power, you can maybe get it for about 2,000. And if you want to do it yourself, which again you can learn how to do it, I would say, for around 800 you can definitely do it, with having the acro props and strong boys to hold the structure. RSJ isn't very expensive. Skip, it adds up as well. Building control as well. So let's just say 800. We might need to build a partition wall. Well, we might need to cover up the door, so let's just say 1,000, right, with the door. And this one, let's say 2,500, if we want them to do it, to block that door that we just discussed. This one here. And then what's next on the list? Ceilings. What are these ceilings? So been patched up a little bit, definitely needs a skim. Those Arctic ceilings by the looks of it, so you might skim those to keep it nice and clean. You might want to skim all of them. Again, it's up to you, but I would do that. These ones, yeah, pretty much all of them will need some kind of a skim. Maybe this one's fine, just needs a bit of fixing. This one's need a bit of a skim. This one's looks fine, to be fair. Don't, if it needs something, then do it, but if it doesn't, then don't just do pointless work, right? These ones look fine, right? So why would you skim this one? Just fix that crack a little bit. So there's not much to that, just needs a paint. But again, this is my idea. If you want to do it, and there will be people who will disagree with me, but I personally wouldn't really do anything to these, just give it a paint and fix some cracks like this one. It's just from plasterboard or plaster, so it's not a big deal. It probably will cover up, most of it will get covered up with paint. So in terms of ceilings, not much to do, just downstairs looks like it. One room skim, 200 to 400. There were two downstairs. Haven't seen the kitchen, but let's just quickly go and check. By the way, I'm looking at the walls, and now the walls will need, pretty much the whole house will need a skim. So I'll get to that next. So the kitchen looks fine as well. Look, there's not much to do here. Yeah, just give it a paint, and if you really feel like it, patch up those tiny cracks. But yeah, not much doing here. So really just to skim these two rooms, which is, so this ceiling, right, ceilings says 600 maybe, to skim the two ceilings. The wallpaper is already removed, maybe just needs a good clean. The ceiling, the wallpaper on the ceilings, there is no wallpaper on the ceilings. I don't think this is wallpaper, so don't need to worry about that. If you were to do it yourself, which again I strongly suggest to learn how to do it, it won't cost you a fortune. So 50 to 100 with tools and the plaster. Let's just say 75 to skim those two rooms. But then again, if you buy the tools, you'll have them for the next part. So the walls plaster now, since you'll need pretty much the whole house, you don't need to take it back to brick because the plaster looks fine. It's just a few areas I saw on the staircase, on the landing, or no, so I think the staircase and landing maybe had some patches, but those can be patched up with some plaster. So let's just call it a 3-bed house skim, right? I'd say 80 square meters. This is around the size of this house. Again, it won't be like exact quote, but you can have a ballpark. So the walls would be roughly 240 square meters. I haven't measured them, but it will take you too long to do it for every house, so I just keep it at an approximate price. To skim the whole house, like the whole walls, I would say about 3,000 if you hired someone to do it. If you do it yourself, since you got the tools already, and again there's not much to it, skimming is much easier than plastering from scratch onto brick, so you can learn that if you really want to keep the costs down. In terms of tools, you have them, plaster, and you might just need bonding and stuff like that, like PVA glue, or just watch some videos. Basically you'll see what tools you'll need, but to keep it simple, 750 I think is more than enough to skim the whole thing yourself. Next, walls paint. All of them will be painted, right? So 3-bed house, painting the walls, skirting, doors, I would say you're looking at roughly £2,000 if you hired someone. If you did it yourself, the cost of materials, paints, brushes, rollers, this is definitely something that pretty much anyone can do. By the way, 300. So let's just keep it to 400 in the middle for paint buckets and whatnot. Again, you can go crazy and buy expensive paint, or you can go on the cheap side, but if you go somewhere in the middle, you can't go wrong with that. Floors, right? That's the next on the list. By the way, electrics, haven't mentioned if you need to change any of these what do you call them, fixtures, I guess. So the lights, basically, if you want to make them any nicer or whatever, or if you need to change any plugs, for example, again, stuff like this, if the wires work, then you can learn how to do yourself. But I'm not suggesting you should do that, but it's not that complicated. I wouldn't do too much myself. I could change the lights probably. I could basically rewire this kind of light, which already has the wires in there. As long as you switch off the whole electrics, if you switch off the power to the whole house, then it can't be that difficult. But let's just allow for rewiring of some of these things, like maybe some of them don't work. We can't know. Maybe you want to put some more plugs or sockets somewhere, or switches, move the switch around. Maybe you want to move it there. So let's add that in here. Rewire up to 10 items, 500 to 800. So let's call it 800, 950 in total here, with the smoke alarms, rewiring everything. Well, not everything, but those 10 items. And if you need a new consumer unit, which I don't know, you need to check that when you go for a viewing, if it looks fine. That could be an extra cost as well. But like I said, electric's a bit trickier to gauge from these virtual tours, and even in person, really, because if you're not an electrician, you can only Yes. um, so if you do it yourself, then 100 to 200, depending on what kind of sockets you're getting. Let's just say 200 for that, plus the alarms, 250 if you do it yourself, which you might or you might not. Let's go back to floors now. Floors, well, looks like all the floors need doing, right? Don't really know what this looks like. There was a wall here or something, but yeah, you probably just fill that in with some concrete. It's not a big deal. And yeah, basically you need an underlay. These are tiles or something, not sure. Oh no, you had carpet, I believe. They had carpet in here, so I think it's the underlay from the carpet. So anyways, depends what you want to do again. So what I would do here is put laminate, for example, downstairs. Bathroom, keep it to tiles or just vinyl, but maybe tiles more durable. And then the kitchen, well, actually, sorry, the kitchen is gonna be in here, this whole thing, right? So just keep everything as laminate, I would say, except for the bathroom. And then in here, laminate as well, same color ideally. And upstairs we've got carpet. So in the staircase I would do carpet as well, just so it's more comfortable and safer. So let's have a look at the floors. One floor, so the first floor, laminate, approximately 40 square meters. So 2 rooms plus a small hallway would be up to £1,000 with materials and fitting. So again, you can go crazy with the materials, I'd say, but I found materials that look great and are on the cheap side. So yeah, okay, £1,000 for first floor laminate. Then the staircase would be carpet, so let's put 600 for that, 1,600. Then we've got tiles in the downstairs bathroom, around £1,000. So 600, 2,600. And upstairs we've got a small bathroom, tile as well. I would say about another 750. So too lazy to plus 750. 3,350 for floors. And I forgot the carpet upstairs. Where is it? 1 floor carpet. So 3 bedrooms plus a small hallway, 5 to 700. Okay, so you practically 4,050, give or take, for the whole floors in the whole house. Now, if you were to do it yourself, 1 floor laminate. So the first floor laminate would be, I would say, 600 for materials. If you don't believe me, have a look. But yeah, I found for around 10 £10 per meter square for the materials, and you will need underlay, which is not very expensive. So I think you can get materials for this much, unless you go on the higher end. So yeah, I'm not planning on doing that. For the staircase, we said carpet. To buy the carpet, 200, do it yourself, again 600, 800 with the carpet on the staircase. Carpet on the first floor, another 400, so 1200. And then we got the medium bathroom tiles, 300 to 500, with grout and adhesive and tools and stuff like that, so let's say 500. And we got another bathroom upstairs, which will be a small one, so I would say about 800 for both of them. We're looking at £2,000 in materials. And yeah, again, we don't have to, I didn't do any of these kitchen materials, because in my mind the first floor is whole laminate. Even the kitchen, that kind of takes the soul space, kitchen diner, I would keep it simple and laminate. So yeah. What's next? Skirting boards, right? I thought of everything. With skirting boards, again, the skirting boards that are there probably won't win any awards, but if they still look fine, then there's no real reason to change them, right? So you just want to give them a nice paint. They're not rotten, they're not ripped apart or anything. They look just fine, just need a bit of love. So downstairs, skirting boards are fine, just need painting, really. You might need to change a couple of them, like I've seen this one is missing, or no, it's still there. But yeah, you might just need to change a couple of them, but they won't cost a fortune. So sorry guys, I'm spinning around in circles. Upstairs, same, it looks fine. So if you're really that bothered about them, you can just get some wood filler, and wherever you see major chips in them, you can fill them in if it makes you feel better. But for me, I think this would do. You just need to give them a nice paint, and yeah, they're fine pretty much. So skirting boards are okay. Let's just check all the rooms. Yeah, that one's fine, that was fine. Oh wow, I just realized this bedroom is tiny. What the hell? This is not actually a bedroom, is it? Let's see the size of it. The beauty of this is you can check measurements in real time. I don't know what this is. 2.9 up to that, 1.8 up to this. So, or this is 1.9. You can have a bed in there, I suppose. It would be like a very tiny bedroom. Like, yeah, I wouldn't want to live in that bedroom, but maybe an office. Yeah, anyways, skirting boards. Oh, there's a hole in that wall here. Let's see what this is. Okay, someone probably checked whether this wall is the way that's been built. Maybe wanted to knock it down. Anyways, for skirting, I would say there's nothing to do really. Nothing to do here either, except for paint, which we've already covered up in here. Walls, paint walls, skirting, and doors. Internal doors was it? Okay, internal doors is next. So here we'll add 0, 0. Internal doors. Let's have a look at internal doors. Again, this is very debatable, but this door looks fine. It looks fine to me. That one looks fine too. The door frame looks fine too. It depends, it depends what you want to do with the house. If you want to sell it, then maybe you want to put in some fancy doors, but these doors do the job, so there's no need to replace them. At least they all look the same, so you've got a nice uniform look, matching look in the whole house. Well, upstairs at least. That one looks fine too. The most that you might change is the door handles, maybe. If some of them are, they look quite old, so maybe they're just gonna be a bit tacky. So yeah, the doors are fine. I wouldn't change anything about the doors, just paint them. So replace one door handle and lock. If you really want to do something to the doors, I would say that could be something 30 to 80 pounds. If you want to change all of them, it's hard to tell until you go there and see. But let's just say we want to change. There's a lot of doors in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 doors. I think 10, to be fair. 10 doors we have. So no point for a calculator. 30 to 80. Let's just say 500 for someone to change all the locks, all the door handles. It's not a lot of work. The doors are already there, the holes are already there. So if you want to change them yourself, probably 200 to be fair. You should buy 10 locks in bulk, door handles. So that's really if you want to do something to the doors. Now exterior doors, I think that one definitely needs changing. Yep. So we'll need a new UPVC door. By the way, we haven't looked in the garden yet, but we'll have a look in a bit. This door needs changing, so let's have a look. The front door was fine. Let's have a look at the front one too, so we know how many to count. But this door looks fine, really. Unless this door lock, maybe you want to change the door lock, door handle and the door lock. So let's count that in. Single patio door, pay someone to do it, 800, plus the front lock another 100, let's say 900. I need to add Door lock. Handle plus lock. Just while I'm here, might as well. I'll have a look at the exact quotes for that, how much it costs to change, but let's just call it 100 for now. And to do it yourself, how much is a door front door lock? 30. Oh, so fancy. Yeah, 289. Sure. Well, something like this, maybe you'll find some that look better. 100, yeah. 35. Let's just say it's 100 for the door handle and lock, and this one would be to fit it as well, maybe 150 if you get the same one. So this would have been 950, sorry. And then this would be 100 plus back door. With the back door, UPVC, you can find used ones that look, pretty much like the front door. Look at this, patio door, UPVC used. So, of course, single maybe we can add. Single. If you buy a new one, then you're looking at, around 400. If you buy a used one, which I swear I've seen, this one is 250, 300, but this one looks like pretty much almost like new, to be fair. 250, right? We've seen loads of them so far. You can probably find cheaper, but let's just say 250, right? So you don't have to pay 600 for a door. Just buy a used one that looks great, and obviously make sure it matches the size that you've got. 250 plus 100, 350. And then you can change it yourself again. You probably hate me by now, assuming you can do so much. DIY with windows, I think all the windows are fine, to be fair. We've seen the front ones look fine. And by the way, you can always come back to this listing and see what I'm seeing. The only thing is, if you come back in like a few months, this virtual tour won't be available, so you will only have access to the photos. You can also see how much it sold for, so that will be interesting for you. But the windows are fine, but if you had to replace these windows, that could be a hefty cost. So yeah, with the windows, maybe some locks don't work. Again, no way of knowing in here, but those won't be expensive to change if that's the case. But this looks fine. Shall we check the upstairs just to be 100% sure? That there is no surprises upstairs. Sometimes people change windows only on one side of the house or only on one floor and leave the rest because they don't have the money to do it all. So yeah, these windows look fine. Double glazed, just need a bit of a clean, that's it. So No windows need to be replaced. 0 structural. Now this is a big unknown for some people, including me sometimes. I just look for signs of cracks inside and outside. Inside, if there are light cracks, then that most likely is just plaster, especially if the house is in a state. But if you see them outside, then still doesn't mean it's the end of the world. But yeah, if they look kind of messed up, then I would stay away from that. Oh, there's a garage as well, or whatever that is. So this would be the bathroom. Look at the house from the outside. It looks fine. Again, you want to check in person and go really close and have a look. The roof looks fine. Gutters, the soffits, fascia, pretty much everything looks in good working order. The walls, so there doesn't seem to be any structural issue with this house. And frankly, I wouldn't really touch something that looks like it's got structural damage. Not me personally, because I can't do it myself, most likely. So I would only look at houses that I can personally do most of the work, at least now. So yeah, damp course, I don't think it needs any. There was no sign of damp anywhere in the house, so we'll keep that off for now, 0. And since we're outside, we have to consider a bit of gardening as well. It looks like you've got an apple tree in here, so you can make vodka if you want, or jam. Yeah, it's not a huge garden, so just really trimming off the weeds. Front garden looked fine as well. There wasn't a whole lot we can do in the garden. I didn't check the fences, sorry. That's an important one, which I shall add to my list. The fences look fine. Yep. Don't know what's behind those bushes, but I think it's safe to assume the fences are okay. So front is okay as well. You don't really need to do anything, just trim the grass. That's it. Yeah, the outside could be quite costly as well, so you always have to consider front garden or front bit of the house and the back one, because that can get quite costly if you want to do any improvement to it, like major improvement. So landscaping, for example, on 40 square meters, which this looks about that, about 40 square meters, right? Trim weeds, and if you want to place new turf, then you're looking at about that price for someone to do it. But if you do it yourself, then it can cost you nothing, or just buying the lawn mower, and you can do both the front and the back, so maybe just 100 if you don't have it already. If you want to hire someone, it's hard to tell, but since you don't need new turf, just trim the weeds, the grass, maybe around 200 for someone to do it. But yeah, this house overall looks quite good. I've seen way worse than this. So the verdict, right? What's the verdict? What kind of budget are we looking for? And I know it took like an hour to get this one done, but I promise if you do it enough times, especially, you do it for this one, let's say you come up to 3,000 plus 950. I hope I'm not gonna make any mistake, because people will freak out. It always bugs me when I see a video and someone makes a mistake and they don't realize it, and they keep hammering on, keep talking. And they keep talking the wrong stuff based on that mistake they've made. So I hope I don't do that. 200. Right, so 28,250. If you were to hire someone to do that, again, that's not exactly like written in stone. It can be much less or it could be higher. It's down to your skill, really, to negotiate and find the right people for the right price. So 500 plus 800 plus 800 plus 250 plus 1,075 plus 750 plus it keeps adding on. 400 plus 2,000 plus 550, 650. And you could do this yourself for the grand price of 9,225, which is, Jesus Christ, that's like less than a third, or it's a third of that. Yeah, it's quite something, I think this is very realistic, and since I bought a house at auction, and I can't wait to get the keys for it and start this whole process of actually refurbing it. Not this house, obviously, but if you follow the channel, then I will show everything. Most likely these videos will be quite boring to watch. I'm not going to do anything flashy with 1,000 jump scenes and screaming and full-on action. It's not my style, so but of course you and me aren't gonna do everything ourselves, so let's do a budget for mixed refurb. So some stuff that you can do yourself, I can do myself. Okay, I'll do it based on my experience and willingness to do stuff myself, and you can do your own. So 2,500 plus 800 plus heating I wouldn't do myself, so I'll put the £2,000 of hiring someone. Electrics, same, 950. Maybe next time I could do myself, but no, not now. Interior plan, I would love to knock down a wall, plus ceilings 75, plastering 750 plus 75, and 400 for painting. Bear in mind, I have done a few small projects myself, floors myself, but I'm by no means a builder, or I don't have years of experience doing this, but I'm willing to learn. And I think just by having that willingness to learn and applying yourself, you can get anything done. 200 plus 350 plus 100, 125. That's my personal budget for this house. Of course, when I analyze the deal, I take this full budget. And why is that? Because how to explain it? I still allow for someone else to do the works, and I want the deal to work based on a full budget. And if I can do the stuff myself, then it's like I'm earning an extra 17k. So it's like creating a job for myself, that I pay myself from that job. That's how I see it. So this is my personal budget for this property. And yeah, you can choose to believe or say that I'm crazy, or whatever. But if you follow the channel, in the next videos I will show the full process of refurbing my house that I bought from auction. So this is the exact way that I've analyzed that house. I won't show it yet, but when I get the keys and I get in there, my plan is to do most of the work myself, so you can see, and maybe it will motivate you. And yeah, hopefully you learn something. You can get this Excel sheet. I'll put a link in the video below in the description. You can download this one and just change the quotes. I mean, not change them, but do your own due diligence. Go out there and look, submit quote requests for all of these, and do the work, do the legwork, and replace as needed with your own prices. And same for these, right? So maybe if you see it in a year's time, these quotes won't be the same. It will be much higher, most likely. So also this is based in the Midlands area, so Birmingham. I actually got most of these quotes for this specific property, even though I didn't win it, or I didn't buy this one, but that's the one I used as reference in the photos. So I hope these tradesmen don't hate me too much for wasting their time. I apologize for that, but I had to do this exercise. Yeah, you do your own. Right, let's not bore you even further. Next, I will analyze or show you how to analyze the price or the value of this done up property. Done up to the standard, to a good standard, without any major alterations, like no extensions or anything like that. Just a simple refurb, and see if we can make anything from this. So yeah, watch the next video.